Leftover Lies, 5th edition. What if our dreams are actually just like a different reality? Ever thought about that?
Stop it.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with this concept on the channel of the Leftover Lies, it's essentially where I talk about leftover interesting topics, deep thoughts I have, and usually plenty of TikToks like I found interesting, like I haven't had the chance to cover it in any of the recent rabbit hole roundups. So in today's edition, I'm going to be discussing a theory that I came up with after watching the movies Interstellar as well as Inception, which are both super interesting movies. I'm also going to be talking about a clip that proves that cats actually have superpowers. I'm going to be discussing Derrick Rose's retirement, which is a more current events issue, of course, as well as Shohei Ohtani possibly being the greatest of all time. Does he have a chance to do that? Also, what the hell is going on in Chick Fil A's meat?
In a tepid pool of my own filth.
Have any of you ever looked into any of the ingredients? Some of that's going to blow your mind. So without further ado, let's dive into this episode now. Dun dun dun.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jared Weiss. If you guys didn't know that, it must mean that you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on this video. Follow me on every platform. And if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check out my book, Fight Through by Jared Weiss. All the links to purchase it are on my website, which is jaredbryanweiss.com. That's JaredBryanWeiss.com. I've been getting so much great feedback so far from the people who have bought it. So, do you want to be one of the ones who's left out from reading this masterpiece? I don't think so. So, buy the book, help me, support me, because I'm doing all I can to help you guys out. And any support would be much appreciated, of course. So, first off, if any of you guys have ever seen the movie Inception, which is essentially based on this idea that our dreams can actually influence our reality and our real life.
In your dreams.
Oh, no. In reality.
And I've actually always thought this, especially because I've had some, crazy dreams in my life, and, oftentimes they actually signify something deeper that's actually going on in my life, and I actually have, a lot of symbolism that represents different things in my dreams. But the movie takes it, a whole step further, and, actually talks about implanting thoughts into people's subconscious, and then going deeper into a dream within a dream within a dream, basically.
I'm a projection of your subconscious. I was sent here to protect you in the event that extractors tried to pull you into a dream.
But, if you get stuck there, you end up in what's called limbo, which is, basically impossible to get out of. And also in the movie Interstellar, which is another Christopher Nolan interesting movie. So, if any of you guys know me by now, I don't believe in this whole outer space travel. I actually believe that, outer space and, this idea of extraterrestrial actually just means land beyond the ice wall. Hence the shirt, Antarctica ice wall. Because I believe that, we're on a flat stationary plane. I don't believe in this whole idea of other planets and other galaxies.
Grow up, Peter Pan. Count Chocula.
But, I do believe, there is more land out there. So, this made me realize, what if our dream state is actually just, another reality that's going on at the same time as this one? And what if, everything that happens in that video game can actually affect what's going on right now? Now, bear with me. I know, a lot of the trolls out there are going to call me crazy.
Well, there is the possibility that you've gone right out of your mind.
I've looked at that. It seems unlikely.
Well, I'd look again.
Which I've heard before, so I'm used to it by now. But, taking that theory one step further, and once again, maybe I'm just reaching so far out here, but what if when people die, they actually go beyond Antarctica by taking this portal, which I've actually heard mentioned in various books talking about this idea of land beyond the ice wall, whether it's in the Iron Republic or whether it's the land beyond the Antarcticas. All these journeys talk about portals being placed around Antarctica. So what if in order to reach that portal, what if it only happens once we die? And then combining this with my theory when it comes to Interstellar, what if these people who go beyond the ice wall can actually only communicate to us through signs?
Every moment. It's infinitely complex. They have access to infinite time and space, but they're not bound. Find a specific place in time. They can't communicate.
Or possibly getting rid of the idea of the ice wall. What if it's actually just another dimension? Which, as we see in Interstellar, it's the idea of 5 dimensions. And I've actually heard of certain spiritual theories that actually talk about there actually being 7 dimensions. And many of us, based on our eyesight, and our ability to only see certain light spectrums, can only see up to the 3rd dimension. But what if there's actually 4 dimensions beyond that? Also, keep in mind, if we're talking about movies and predictive programming, we've also all seen The Truman Show, and when he breaks through that wall, could it be representative of going past the ice wall?
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Or taking this idea of our dreams being another reality a step further, why is it like our dreams are actually often reliving past events, but like with a different outcome? I've had plenty of dreams where I'm like back in high school, or I'm doing something all over again, and sometimes like of a better outcome, sometimes like of a worse outcome, and of course, could it just be like our mind trying to sort through different events? Yes, but what if it's almost like the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, where could there be other dimensions where we're actually living, but like we actually have like a whole different outcome in that reality? And what would this make lucid dreaming? Would that just be like the ability to control other avatars of our own? Almost like how, if you guys want to think of it in terms of like a video game, as many of us often call life, is it like the ability to control player 1 and player 2 at the same time?
I'll be Shelley Oberon, the curvy genius.
Welcome to Jumanji.
Interesting thoughts to think about. Maybe I'm crazy, but like I want to start with that topic as a way of getting the ball rolling and getting all of our thinking caps on and ready to move. Have any of you guys ever considered any of those topics after seeing the movie Inception, or thinking about like how real some of our dreams feel? I don't doubt like there could be other realities, or there even could be other dimensions that are like affecting what's going on in this one. Moving right along, I also want to make a little side note here. So like the reason why I'm not covering the whole Diddy situation is because, first off, everyone else is doing that. You guys can hear that on the mainstream media, or you guys can hear that on the alternative media as well. So I don't want to be just like everyone else. Also, I already did that in the past episode, a few months back. And third, I don't really think anything's going to come of this. I think it's just going to be something where all of our attention's like diverted to that darkness, and none of us, of course, have any control over that situation. But of course, having said that, does it like reveal a lot of the dark things that are happening in the whole music industry? Of course. So like it's important to be aware of that. But like just as like the whole Epstein situation showed us, they're not going to reveal any names.
She named name.
It's just like gonna divert our attention, and then like it's gonna disappear in a few months from now. But of course, as many of us know, there are a lot of people who are involved in all these dark activities. I can guarantee you it's not just Diddy. And also, like, back when I actually first covered the whole darkness behind the music industry, I was often called crazy.
You're not crazy.
But now, like, as soon as the whole mainstream starts covering it, and everyone sees it, and everyone, like, accepts it as the truth. So, as far as I see, you guys are all late to the party. And no, I don't mean the Diddy party. Disclaimer. But yeah, so like most of the time, most of the rabbit holes like I'm gonna go down these days are actually looking for something positive like to pull from it. Like I don't want to get too sucked into all the darkness. Of course, like we do have to cover these things, and it's important to be aware of all of them. But like when it comes to things that like I have no control over, and I can't actually pull like anything positive out of this situation, I don't really want to get too far into those things. Of course, I'm gonna be covering them every now and then just because like they are current events, but I don't want to get sucked into those things. I want to show you guys how to flip negative things into positive and how to find the positive in our world. So the next topic I want to get into is that like cats actually have superpowers, and I actually thought this like for the past few years, and I'm going to be telling the story in a minute, but like first I'm going to show you guys the video that actually proved my suspicions. Alright, let's watch from the start.
Why do cats not display the same hip dysplasia and some of the other connective tissue disorders that dogs do? And the answer to that is because they purr. They are little physioacoustic generators, and they have an innate ability to know how to heal people. They like to climb on people, and they seem to have an understanding of when somebody's in pain, and they go right to that area, and they purr. The American Veterinarian Association has stated that the reason that cats don't have connective tissue disorders is because they do purr. That's physioacoustic therapy right there.
So, this is actually just like proof of something like I actually theorized a few years ago.
Of course it's a good idea. It's my idea. I conceived this whole project 2 years ago.
Because, so like, as many of you guys know, from my other channel, Jared and James channel, and if you guys are listening, of course, this is all on the Jared and James channel, but like, a few years back, my best friend James had this incredible cat, Stella, who essentially felt like my own cat, because every single time I would go over his house without fail, and so keep in mind, so this was actually happening during the time when I was actually going through the worst of my health issues post the whole hospital situation when it comes to my whole life-threatening illness. So like I was having horrible digestive issues, horrible mental issues, like everything was really in a bad place during this time. But like every single time I went over to my best friend James's house, every single time without fail, his cat Stella would jump on my lap and wouldn't move until I got up. And keep in mind, she didn't do this for everyone else, but like every time, like as soon as I walked in the house, she would jump on my lap and would sit there until I got up. And I theorized around this time, like maybe she could actually sense like I'm like the state of discomfort and like I'm going through a really rough time, and so like maybe she's actually trying to kill me. And like she passed away a few years ago, bless her, because Stella was one of the best cats I ever had the pleasure of meeting. She was an incredible cat, and like this is just like proof that like she may have actually been using some type of therapy to help me on my own healing journey. Next story I wanted to cover in this week's episode is Derrick Rose retired from the NBA this past week, and his story is always going to be one of what could have been, because this guy, when he was in Chicago, this dude was incredible. He was on another level. People were actually thinking like he was going to overtake LeBron as the best player in the NBA during this time, because he won the MVP in 2011. This guy would dunk on anyone, jump over anyone. This guy played with no fear. He was super athletic. He was actually one of my favorite players during this time. And let's just like take a look at his career stats, because I wanna see where this guy would have been had it not been for his injury, or for his injury history. So like NBA MVP 2011, 3-time NBA All-Star, All-NBA First Team, but he also had like some serious ACL injuries, which derailed a lot of his career. But like he still actually came back and became like the rose that grew from concrete.
You and your career high 50 points. What does it mean to you, Derrick?
Everything, man. I worked my ass off, bro.
Because even after all of his injuries, he was still actually a really solid player. He may not have had like the same bounce in the step. He may not have had like the same first step quickness or the same speed, but he was still like a highly effective player. I mean, in 2011, he was averaging 25 a game, 7.5 assists, 4.1 rebounds per game. And for anyone who's ever watched his highlights, he was on another level. So shout out to D Rose for being an incredibly fun player to watch, an incredibly fun player to learn from, and who's to say like this guy may be known as one of the greatest of all time had not been for his injuries, but like those few seasons where this dude was balling out were definitely a thing of beauty for any basketball fans out there. And this leads me into another interesting sports clip, which is Shohei Ohtani on the path to becoming the greatest of all time in baseball, possibly? Let's watch. Colin Coward, interesting guy. He's definitely given like some really great takes over the years. He also has some really bad ones, but like he's definitely an interesting guy to listen to.
I thought Shohei Ohtani was better than Babe Ruth, and I got pushback. I admit I was wrong. He's significantly better than Babe Ruth. He is the first six-tool player. This is a rehab season. He's not fielding. He's not pitching. Even Mookie Betts said, I don't know how to explain it. He's just feeling sexy. He just has one of those days. He's just feeling it. This season, he is first in runs, second in hits, first in home runs, first in RBI, OPS, slugging percentage, total bases. There's never been anything like this guy, ever, on a absolutely loaded roster. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. There's talent everywhere on this roster. Even Ohtani is markedly better, superior, more remarkable than every other player. And oh yeah, for the first time in his career yesterday, among his personal exploits, he clinched a playoff spot. So we'll get to see him in October. He deserves it, and so do we.
So, Shohei Ohtani has been absolutely on another level this year. I mean, the other day, he had a game where he hit 6 for 6. He had 3 home runs, 10 RBIs in the game. And as Colin Coward just said, this is actually supposed to be like his rehab season. He may not even be like at full strength this year, and like he's dominating on a roster of several other All-Stars. So it might be like a bit too early to be saying like this guy is better than Babe Ruth.
Who is she? Babe Ruth! The Great Bambino!
Because Babe Ruth's career averages were, let's just check, he had a lifetime batting average of 342, 714 home runs, and of course, it's always going to be hard to compare eras, but like, he was also a pitcher, of course, but like, he was also slow and fat. Shohei Ohtani is currently having, and by the time this video comes out, he may actually be a 55-55 player, so like 55 plus home runs, 55 stolen bases, but like, wherever he does like end up this year, I think if he actually does get back into pitching, which as we know, he's also incredible at that too, could he end up being one of the greatest of all time? I don't doubt it. Let me know your thoughts on that, for any of my baseball fans out there. Next up, we have a story talking about what the hell is going on in Chick Fil A's meat. What is going on with these ingredients? Some scary stuff in here. But like, I have a funny but like also truthful video talking about this. Let's watch.
We might as well put sugar on shit. This motherfucking list got 10 words the average American knows. Y'all tell me 10 words you know. Exactly. And I don't trust shit with more than 10 letters. This motherfucker say dimethyl polysilicone. It's an anti-foam agent. Now what the fuck is foaming? Why the fuck you giving a chicken sandwich an antidepressant? And then this motherfucker say contraceptive and anti-parasitic drug found in Chick Fil A. Yeah, it's all making sense now. I can see it. That's that birth control buttermilk bun they was talking about. This is what gonna make you not get pregnant no more. If you might as well leave the birth control alone and just eat Chick Fil A every day. I bet your ass be infertile. I bet your ass can't have no baby at will. So they like, fuck, what throw it in the food? It's chicken. What Jamie Foxx say is in the fucking chicken. Fuck! Fucking with the goddamn chicken.
So first off, I apologize for the language that like this guy used, but like he's absolutely right, and he's also like hilarious at the same time. But like, what the hell's going on in this chicken? I mean, why do you have birth control pills in chicken? Why do you have all these ingredients like no one can pronounce? Why is it so hard to just like make real food? I mean, this is like the whole thing that actually never made any sense to me. Like, why is it like organic food and real food cost so much more compared to chemically laced food? That's like it's like basically a whole science experiment. I mean, this is why it's so important these days, more than ever, to be buying organic whenever you can, to be buying high quality food, because you have no idea what's going into your body otherwise. And if you want to treat your body like a high performing temple, which I believe we all should be, if we want to reach our higher purpose, then we definitely need to be fueling ourselves properly and looking at every ingredient that goes into our body, because I'm not so sure like I want to be putting in anti-foaming agents or contraceptives into my chicken. I mean, of course, I'm sure if you have it once a year, it's probably not going to kill you, but like, I don't want to take too many chances, especially seeing these ingredients. I'm not so sure about that, but that's on you. I just want to make you guys aware of these things, because health is always going to be more important than anything else. Next up, we have a very powerful Tim Grover clip talking about like how to get back your childlike sense of fun, which I think is so important.
I see kids all the time in airports, 2, 3-year-olds, they're dancing around, and then you walk into the same atmosphere, and the parent grabs and tells them to stop. You should be worried more if your kid isn't dancing than if they are. Just do something a little bit that brings you a little joy, a little bit. It just creates so much. It just creates so much energy. We're so afraid to play in the sandbox anymore. Let me tell you, the sandbox is gluten-free. No one's catching an allergy from the sandbox. Have those little moments. It's a joy like none other. Remember when you were a kid, how free you were, the things that you did, without worrying what everybody else is going to say, everybody is going to do. It's a part of our identity. It's part of our style.
This is one of the reasons why I'm always saying, like, first off, there's so much to learn from kids, from watching the way they play and like the way they act, because they're always going to be living in the present moment. They're not worried about what happened 10 minutes ago. They're not worried about what's going to happen a year from now. They're worried about living right now, having as much fun as they can, not worrying about others judging them most of the time. And like most of the time, society is going to try so hard like to take that childlike joy out of you. It's going to try so hard to make you sit down, shut up, and act like a grown-up, quote-unquote, which essentially means doing things that you don't like, buying into peer pressure, doing things like aren't good for you, and calling these things fun. But what if we actually got back to dancing our way through life, to playing games, playing sports, being creative, because those things are actually what's going to light us up, and those things are going to help us live our best life. And when we're having fun, we're actually going to be more productive because our brains are going to be freed, our creative minds are going to be working again. So don't lose that sense of childlike joy that all of us have within us. Be silly, have fun, don't worry about what everyone else is thinking. Because do you really want to be miserable just like everyone else? Or would you rather be different and find other people who actually appreciate you for that? So anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I will catch you guys in the next video. Stay positive, stay hustling, stay grinding, stay critical thinking, ask questions. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.